everyone, thanks for joining me. I'm Chrissy and today I'd like to give you a lesson on strumming. Today's lesson is going to be slightly longer than the previous ones I've given because I want you to think of this as a lesson made up of mini lessons. So in order to get the sound that I just played for you, you're going to need to know a few different techniques. So I'm going to break everything down and then walk you through each of those steps. So we're going to learn about staccato strumming, we're going to learn about percussive strumming, and I'm going to teach you a 2-bar rhythmic pattern. All this is going to be done just with 2 chords. So I want you to take your first finger and I want you to hold down all the strings on your 2nd fret. That's your D6 chord. That's one of my favorite chords. If you move that up 2 frets, we now have an E6. So they're the only 2 chords that you need to know for this lesson. Right, staccato strumming. Sounds very jazzy. All right, what's happening here is I'm applying pressure to the strings, and then as soon as I release the pressure on those strings, the ringing stops. So it's cut short. Boom, 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 boom. It's very sharp. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to move closer so you can actually see the pressure of my finger going down and then releasing. So keep your eye on that first finger. 1, 2, 3, 4. See what I'm doing? Now to practice this technique, just do down strums. Just keep it really simple. 1, 2, 3, 4. If that's too fast for you, it doesn't matter. You don't have to do it at my speed. You can just practice this at your own speed. Practice applying pressure, releasing pressure. See how the ringing is immediately cut off as soon as I take away the pressure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you feel comfortable with that, then practice doing 1 bar of D6 and 1 bar of E6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Move it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go back. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Focus on the smooth change between the D6 and the E6. And to do that, you might need to slow this down. Doesn't matter. We're not working on speed. We really just want to learn the technique. And at any stage in this lesson, you want to pause the recording. It's not cheating. Just stop it. You can rewind it, play along, stop it, and practice it just on your own. It's up to you. Do it at your own pace. The staccato strumming is actually easier to do if you're doing a bar chord, because as soon as you take off the pressure, everything stops. If you're doing an open chord, you do have the dilemma, I guess, of some of the strings want to continue making a sound, and it's not very tidy. So, for example, if you're doing a G chord, this string wants to continue ringing out. So there's a couple of ways around that. I mean, you could just play the strings that you're holding down, so the top 3 strings. That's one way around it. You could also use your thumb to touch slightly on this string here, your 4th string. And that will be really crisp. So that's how you do it when you've got an open chord. You kind of use whatever's around, whether you've got a thumb or something, you can slightly mute that sound. Could also use kind of my thumb to come back and rest on that string. So once I've released the pressure on the G, I can actually bring my thumb back and stop it. So there's a couple of different ways of doing it. I think the most common is probably using, that thumb to mute the string. All right, so that's what staccato strumming's all about. A nice kind of jazzy sound. Let's move on now to percussive strumming. They're kind of closely related in a sense because it's in that period of when the pressure is not on the string. That's how we're going to start off our percussive strum. So the percussive strum is when there's no pressure on the string to create an actual sound. Well, it creates a sound, it just doesn't create a chord sound. So we're not hearing a chord, we're just hearing muted strings. So the finger only needs to be very lightly very, you know, touching those strings just enough to give us that percussive sound. Some people call it a chuck sound, some people call it muted sound. Okay. You might want to try the same thing. Just try 1, 2, 3, 4, and then try changing positions up to the E6. I mean, you can hear a slight difference if you listen, but it, you know, it's quite subtle. You're not hearing the sound of ringing strings. Okay, same goes for if you're trying to do the percussive sound on an open chord. You still want to be able to mute any of the strings that are going to be ringing out. So for example, in that G chord again, use that thumb to mute this string, okay? And you're not applying pressure. So the open is a little bit harder. Now, I'm going to teach you a 2-bar, a rhythmic pattern. It's a funky pattern, and I'm going to break it down for you. So we're just going to learn the first bar, and then we're going to learn the second bar. So I will actually teach you the first bar, and I'll combine showing you what beats you're meant to accent, as well as show you, you know, get you to do the staccato strum on that as well. Let me just show you what I mean by that, okay? So we're playing on beats 1 and then 2 and, which is an upbeat and an offbeat, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And so we're only playing twice. Once is a down strum, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Down, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. A little bit tricky because we're trying to master getting the down and then the and at the same time we're applying the staccato technique. So on that first down strum, we're playing the staccato technique. So 1 and 2 and. On the 2 and, we're doing an up strum, staccato strum. And the rest is just counting. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You're doing really well. All right, let's look at the second bar of that. Second bar is a little bit easier because it's all down strums. And we're just doing 1 and then 3, 4. But the only tricky thing in here is that you will be changing chords. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Get that staccato sound in there. Don't forget that. Down strum. Take the pressure off. Then 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Let's stitch those 2 bars together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Nice work. Pause at any time, replay it, play along with it. Okay, the final step, we're going to add in the percussive strumming. So on top of playing the staccato, playing the pattern, we're adding in the percussive strum. We might want to start out just getting used to the percussive strum again. Let's do some, hold down, where are we? Go to your 2nd fret. Don't hold down the strings though, just use that first finger and lightly bar it, okay? And I just want you to do down and up strum, so count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's all I want you to do right now. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, that's the first bar, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. In the second bar, we're gonna go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And we're cutting that bar in half. And half of that bar is being done at the 4th fret. So 1 and 2 and, move up to the 4th, 3 and 4 and. Let's do it again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and add it together. First bar, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and second bar, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and start again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, what do you reckon? Do you reckon you can get those staccato strums in now? Let's give it a go. I'm going to be accentuating 1 and then the 2 and. The first bar, actually let's break the 2 bars in half. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Probably the easiest way to do this is to keep continuing, because the thumb is still going the whole time. The thumb is just doing down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up in that first bar, right? So the easiest way is to keep continuing doing that. And then once you've got that fluid, think 1, 1, 1. All right, now we're going to try and the 2 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the right hand isn't changing at all. We're continuing that down up with our right hand, and we're just adding in the pressure on the left hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and you got it. Okay. Second bar, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. When you get to the 3, 4, we're breaking it up now. We're just going to do 2 down strums. 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Slightly easier. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Down, up, down, up, down, down. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Let's add it the whole thing together now. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Great. You're going to be sounding like James Brown in no time. All right, so that's the lesson for today. I hope that you found that kind of fun and interesting and maybe even challenging. And if it is tough, stop things, rewind things. You might want to even go through the whole lesson several times before, it comes together. Do it at your own pace and, keep working at stuff, and I will put up something new very soon.